Welcome the rare gems. The rarest energy is the one that doesn't demand to be seen, yet is always felt. There's something about you that's not easy to explain, but impossible to ignore. You're not trying to stand out, but somehow you always do. You don't speak to be heard, yet people listen. That's not luck. That's Sigma energy. And the truth is, it's not for everyone. This kind of energy doesn't come from pretending to be strong. It comes from surviving what others never saw, from choosing silence over noise and peace over approval. It's born from mastering solitude and knowing exactly who you are without anyone needing to agree with you. That's rare. And it makes you powerful in ways the world doesn't always understand. But here's the warning. If you give that energy to everyone, it loses its edge. People will take pieces of your presence without ever realizing how much it costs you. They'll consume your calm, mimic your confidence, drain your insight, and walk away like they discovered it on their own. You're not cold, you're careful. That's not selfishness. That's spiritual strategy. You're not for the crowd, and you never will be. And that's the whole point. Your energy isn't meant to be common. It's meant to be exclusive. Stop handing it out to people who only want to borrow your light without earning your trust. Because when you protect your energy, you don't just stay powerful, you stay whole. This is how you know your Sigma energy is something they'll never be able to fake. Let's dive in the rare gems. Number 1. You start to feel off when you're too available. There's a strange feeling that starts creeping in when you've been too available for too long. It doesn't always show up as stress or burnout. Sometimes it's quieter than that. You feel drained even after doing nothing. Conversations start to feel like chores. You begin resenting the very people you once gave your time to freely. That's not just emotional fatigue, that's spiritual exhaustion. And it happens when your energy is stretched too thin too often. Being available to everyone feels generous at first. You answer every message. You say yes more than you should. You keep showing up because you think it's the right thing to do. But little by little you start to vanish from your own life. You're present for everyone else, but absent from yourself. That's the cost of being too accessible. You become easy to reach and hard to value. The truth is, when your energy has depth, it was never meant to be on tap. You're not supposed to be a constant stream for people to dip into whenever they feel bored, lost, or lonely. You're not a charger for their dying spirits. And that uncomfortable itch you feel when you've said yes too many times, that's your soul trying to pull you back to center. Your energy works best in doses, in focus, in intention. When you choose when and where to show up, your presence becomes powerful again. But when you're everywhere, you start to mean less, especially to those who don't value it. So stop apologizing for pulling back. Stop explaining why you need time alone. That isn't selfish. That's you honoring what you carry. The truth is, your energy is not cheap. If it starts to feel watered down, it's because you've been pouring it into the wrong places. Protect it, reclaim it, and don't wait for people to understand it before you do. Number 2. You don't fit in places that run on ego. There's a certain kind of space that just doesn't sit right with you, the kind where everyone's trying to outshine each other, where conversations feel more like competitions, where people don't talk to connect. They talk to prove something. In these places, the louder someone is, the less you trust what they're saying. The flashier the show, the emptier it all feels. And no matter how long you stay, you always walk away feeling like something in you was slowly being pulled out and wasted. That's because your energy doesn't run on ego. It runs on depth, honesty, and quiet power. You don't need to impress people with your achievements or flex your worth like a trophy. You know exactly who you are, and you don't need to broadcast it. So when you're surrounded by people who measure success by how many eyes are on them, something in you quietly pulls back. Not because you feel small, but because you know it's not your stage. You were never meant to fit into rooms that worship image over integrity. Your presence is too grounded for that. You value truth over noise, connection over applause, and purpose over popularity. So when you're in environments that thrive on ego, your energy doesn't just clash, it shuts down, it closes the door. And here's the truth, that reaction isn't a flaw, it's a signal. It means your spirit is too rare to survive in spaces that are shallow. It means your worth was never meant to be proven, just lived. So if you feel out of place where everyone's performing, good. That discomfort is your compass, pointing you back to where you belong. Protect your energy. Walk away from places where your silence is treated like weakness and your humility is mistaken for invisibility. Because in the right spaces, your energy doesn't need to compete. It just speaks. And it's always enough. Number 3. You can't fake interest even when it would help you. There's a certain kind of honesty you carry that not everyone will understand. You can't pretend to care about things that don't move you. You can't force a smile or fake excitement just to get ahead. And while that might seem like a weakness in a world built on small talk and social games, it's actually one of your greatest strengths. You've probably noticed this in situations where most people would nod along, fake a laugh, or say what's expected just to fit in or win favor. But you physically can't do it. Your energy resists anything that feels off. The moment you try to fake interest, your body tenses, your words feel heavy, you sense yourself shrinking. It's not that you're rude or cold, it's that your entire being is wired for truth. And yes, this can make life harder sometimes. You might miss out on certain opportunities or connections simply because you couldn't pretend. But what you gain is far more valuable. You keep your soul intact, you stay aligned with your core, and you attract people and situations that match your real energy, not the version you were supposed to play. Most people wear masks so often they forget what their real face even looks like. But not you. You'd rather walk away than compromise your spirit. That's not stubbornness, that's spiritual discipline. It's your refusal to live a life that feels fake, even if pretending would make things easier. So if you've ever felt out of place because you couldn't go along with the script, know this: you're not broken. You're rare. In a world that runs on performance, your rawness is both disruptive and refreshing. You may not play the game, but you're the reason people start questioning why they're playing it at all. Number 4. You feel a physical pull to withdraw when energy isn't aligned. There are moments when your body reacts before your brain catches up. You're in a conversation or a room, and suddenly something just feels off. Maybe your chest tightens, your stomach knots. You feel restless, like you need to step outside and breathe. You're not overthinking, you're not being dramatic. That's your nervous system speaking up before your logic has time to process what's really going on. You've probably felt this around people who smile too much but feel hollow, or in environments that seem normal on the surface, but underneath something just isn't sitting right. You can't always explain it, but your body knows. And when that energy isn't aligned with yours, your entire system starts shutting down. Your focus drifts. Your skin crawls. You suddenly want to disappear. That's not anxiety. That's a survival instinct. This happens because your energy is clean. It doesn't mix well with chaos disguised as charm or with shallow vibes wearing deep masks. Your intuition is sharp and it lives in your body. So when something isn't right, it's not just a mental red flag, it's a physical recoil. You can literally feel your presence pulling back, and that's a gift. It means you don't have to wait for someone to show their true colors. Your energy already sensed the mismatch. Trust that pull, listen to it. You're not obligated to stay where your peace starts leaking. You don't need a reason to leave spaces that make you feel small, drained, or disconnected. Protecting your energy doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's as simple as walking away before your soul starts paying the price. That instinct to withdraw, that's not weakness, that's wisdom living in your bones. Number 5. You constantly recalibrate your circle. You don't hold on to people just because of history. You don't stay in friendships out of habit. And you definitely don't keep people around just to fill space. The truth is, your energy is wired for motion, for change, for evolution. So when someone around you stops growing, or worse, starts pulling you backward, something in you shifts, quietly, firmly, permanently. You're not cruel about it. You don't announce it. You just start to pull back. The conversations get shorter. The need to explain yourself fades. You feel yourself detaching without even trying. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. You've learned how to listen to that inner nudge that tells you, this connection has run its course. Some people won't understand. They'll say you switched up, that you're distant or too hard to reach, but they're not seeing what's really happening. You're not disappearing, you're evolving. You're recalibrating your circle to match the person you're becoming, not the one you used to be. It's not personal, it's energetic. You feel it when conversations become repetitive, when someone's presence starts to feel like noise instead of support, when their version of fun leaves you feeling empty. That's your signal. That's your energy refusing to shrink just to keep others comfortable. Growth is your natural rhythm. You shed old versions of yourself like layers, and with each shift your circle tightens, not because you want fewer people, but because you want the right ones. People who challenge you, inspire you, match your frequency. So don't feel guilty for outgrowing people who refuse to move. You're not abandoning them. You're choosing yourself. You're choosing momentum over comfort. And the more you honor that, the clearer your path becomes. Because when your circle aligns with your growth, you stop surviving and start thriving. Number 6. You sense when people want something without saying it. You don't need people to spell things out. You feel it before they speak. That slight hesitation in their tone. That shift in their energy when they walk into the room. You catch it all without them even realizing it. And it's not because you're suspicious. It's not because you've been burned too many times. It's because you've spent enough time alone to know what real peace feels like. So the moment someone walks in with an agenda, your entire being picks up on it. It's a gut feeling that doesn't need evidence. You might not be able to explain it right away, but you know when someone is performing. You know when a compliment isn't genuine. You know when someone's presence has more to do with what they can get than who they are. That's not judgment, that's energetic intelligence. You've trained yourself to watch patterns, not promises, vibes, not words. And while most people are distracted by appearances, you've developed a quiet ability to notice what's underneath the surface. You read pauses. You feel tension. You catch the disconnect between what someone says and what they mean. That's not paranoia. That's what happens when you've learned to sit with yourself long enough to understand subtlety. This is why you rarely let people all the way in. Not because you're closed off, but because your intuition has already sorted through their intentions. You don't need drama to find clarity. One conversation, one moment of eye contact, and you already know what role someone came to play in your life. You're not a mind reader. You're just deeply tuned in. And that kind of awareness, it's priceless. It protects you from fake love, fake friendships, fake concern. So when your body goes quiet and your energy pulls back without warning, trust that. You've already heard what they're not saying. Number 7. You feel emotionally dehydrated around surface-level people. You can smile. You can be polite. You can nod through the small talk. But deep down, you're already tired. Not physically, emotionally. Being around surface-level people feels like eating air when you're starving. It looks like conversation, but there's nothing in it that feeds you. The moment it starts, you're already counting down to when it ends. It's not about being better than anyone. It's not about thinking you're above others. It's chemistry. Plain and simple. Your energy doesn't respond to fluff. You need something real to plug into. You need meaning, truth, something raw. Because when everything stays at the surface, your spirit starts drying out. You feel disconnected, unseen, and honestly bored. You can't pretend to enjoy talking about trends, gossip, or things that carry no real weight. Not because you're trying to be deep all the time, but because your energy naturally craves substance. You want to know what keeps people up at night, what drives them, what broke them and how they rebuilt. You want to speak from the soul, not from a script. And when that's missing, you shrink, you go silent. Not out of rudeness, but self-preservation. Your emotional world runs deep and shallow water can't hold you. So when you feel that drain, that tired, spaced-out feeling after being around people who never go beyond surface level, that's your body telling you, this isn't it. This isn't where you grow. It's not wrong to want depth. It's not extreme to need real connection. That's just how you're built. And once you understand that, you'll stop forcing conversations that leave you empty. You'll stop chasing connection in places that were never meant to see you. Your energy was made for deeper currents. Let it flow where it belongs. Number 8. You can see through nice instantly. There's a kind of nice that makes most people feel good, but makes you instantly uneasy. It sounds sweet. It looks friendly. But something in the delivery feels off, too polished, too timed, too careful. And while others are busy soaking up the compliments, you're already sensing the gap between the words and the energy behind them. You don't fall for smiles that don't reach the eyes. You don't get distracted by charm. You've learned to feel tone more than you hear words. There's a dissonance some people carry. What they say and what they mean don't match. And you pick up on it fast. Not because you're paranoid, but because you're tuned in. That's not suspicion. That's clarity. You know when someone's kindness is genuine and when it's just a strategy. You can tell when someone is being polite because they're respectful, and when they're doing it to manipulate, disarm, or get closer for their own reasons. It's not even about what they say. It's the pause before they speak, the energy they send out while pretending to care. It all registers with you, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. You start feeling a wall build up inside you, not because you want to be guarded, but because your energy recognizes a mask before it slips. You don't need a long explanation. You just know. This gift protects you. It saves you from fake friendships, forced connections, and people who only come close when they have something to gain. While others are caught off guard later, you're already out of reach. You don't hate these people, you just don't entertain what isn't real. Being able to see through nice isn't about being cold. It's about being awake. And when your energy is this clear, no smile can cover bad intentions. Number 9. You attract power struggles without trying. You don't walk around picking fights. You're not loud. You don't flex or demand attention. But somehow you keep running into people who try to challenge you. They question your confidence. They undermine your calm. They poke at your quiet strength like it's a threat. And here's the truth. To them, it is. You attract power struggles not because you want to compete, but because your energy refuses to shrink. You don't submit to ego. You don't chase approval. And you don't play along just to keep the peace. That unsettles people who are used to controlling the room with volume, status, or charm. The moment you show up, calm and unshaken, their grip slips, and they feel it. So they test you. They try to shake your balance, not because they see weakness in you, but because they can't find a way to control you. Weak people, especially the ones hiding behind fake dominance, are quick to feel intimidated by what they can't define. And you don't fit into their little boxes. You don't respond the way they expect. You don't give them the reaction they want. That makes you unpredictable. And power-hungry people hate what they can't predict. But here's the thing. They lose the moment they try. Because you don't engage in empty battles. You don't compete for space. You become the space. That's the difference. You don't fight for control. You already own your ground, and that's exactly what draws opposition from those who build their identity on being louder, stronger, or feared. So when you find yourself in these silent battles, know this. It's not about your behavior. It's about your presence. The ones who feel threatened by you are revealing themselves. And the best part? You don't have to prove anything. Your energy already did. Number 10. You heal people without intending to. You're not trying to fix anyone. You're not walking around with some grand mission to heal the world. And yet something happens when people are around you. They open up. They feel lighter. Their thoughts start making sense. Their emotions settle, even if just for a moment, and they often leave your presence feeling better without being able to explain why. That's because your energy does the work quietly, without words, without effort. Just by being grounded in yourself, you create space for others to return to themselves. You're not preaching or giving advice. You're just being real, present, steady, and that kind of calm is rare in a world full of noise. Most people are so used to chaos that when they encounter someone who isn't rushing, performing, or chasing anything, they feel something shift. They don't know what changed, but you do. You became the mirror they didn't know they needed. Your stillness gave them clarity. Your presence reminded them of something they forgot. What it feels like to be emotionally safe. You don't heal with big speeches. You heal by listening without judgment, by not trying to fix people, by simply holding space. And that kind of energy realigns others without even trying. You've probably had people tell you, I don't know why, but I feel like I can talk to you about anything. That's not random, that's resonance. But here's the thing. This ability can also be draining if you're not careful, because people will keep coming to drink from your calm without realizing how much it costs you. So protect your peace, even while offering it. heal when it's aligned, not out of obligation. You don't just carry peace, you radiate it, and the world feels it, whether they understand it or not. Number 11. You're not drained by being alone, you're recharged. There's something powerful about the way you handle being alone. Not just fine with it, you thrive in it. While most people feel the need to constantly be around others to feel alive or validated, you're the opposite. The silence doesn't scare you. It sharpens you. Being alone doesn't make you feel empty. It fills you back up. It gives you space to breathe, to think clearly, and to reset without the pressure of keeping up with anyone else's energy. You don't need noise to feel seen. You don't need constant activity to feel alive. And that's not about being introverted. This goes much deeper. This is about energetic sovereignty, being so rooted in who you are that your peace no longer depends on anyone else's presence. Most people think solitude means loneliness. They confuse isolation with emptiness. But you've come to understand that being alone is where you meet your clearest thoughts. It's where you hear the things the world drowns out. It's where you reconnect with your strength and you stop performing. You don't need company to feel complete. And that kind of relationship with solitude is rare. It's not that you hate people, it's that your energy knows how much it costs to constantly engage with others. And when you give that energy away too freely, you start losing pieces of yourself. That's why time alone isn't a luxury for you. It's a necessity. So when people don't understand why you disappear sometimes, or why you pull back when things get noisy, let them wonder. They don't know what it takes to carry your level of self-awareness. They don't know the kind of clarity you're chasing. Let them talk. Meanwhile, you'll be growing stronger in your stillness, recharging in your silence, and returning to the world only when it's worth your energy. That's not detachment, that's mastery. Number 12, you get misunderstood a lot, and you're fine with that. You've probably noticed by now, people don't always get you. They can't figure you out. One moment they think you're quiet, the next they call you intense. Some say you're too calm, others say you're too distant. And the truth is, they're all just guessing, because your energy doesn't fit into a quick explanation. It doesn't match the usual patterns they're used to. You move at your own pace and you carry a presence that doesn't give everything away at once. But here's the beauty. You've stopped trying to explain yourself. You've made peace with being misunderstood. You don't need everyone to read you right. Because deep down, you know that trying to make people understand you usually means shrinking, softening, or simplifying who you are. And that's a price you're no longer willing to pay. You don't want to be seen through a filter. You don't want to be watered down just to be more digestible. You'd rather be confusing than fake. You'd rather be distant than perform a version of yourself that keeps others comfortable. That's not arrogance. That's integrity. Your energy isn't meant for surface-level interpretation. It takes time to truly feel you, to hear what you don't say, to notice what you don't show. And very few people have the patience or the depth for that, so you let them misunderstand. You let them label. You stay rooted in who you are anyway, because the right ones, the ones who can feel your energy without needing it explained, they won't rush to define you. They'll sit with the mystery. They'll respect the silence. They'll recognize that your presence is not something to figure out, it's something to experience. So yes, you get misunderstood a lot. And that's exactly how you keep your energy real. Let them wonder. You already know. In final words, when your presence brings clarity, calm, and change, protect it like the rare force it is. If these signs speak to you, then you're not just different, you're a Sigma female. And that means your energy carries something most people don't know how to handle, let alone understand. You're not interested in playing roles or putting on masks. You don't bend just to belong. Your silence says more than most people's shouting, and your presence leaves an impact long after you've gone. But with that kind of energy comes a responsibility, not to others, but to yourself. You can't keep showing up for everyone, offering your insight, your clarity, your calm to people who haven't earned it. Some will try to drain it, others will try to imitate it, and many won't even realize what they had until it's no longer in front of them. That's why you have to guard your space with purpose. You're not hard to reach. You're just careful about who gets close. And that is strength. That is wisdom. That is self-respect on a level most people never reach. You don't owe the world constant access to your depth. You don't need to prove your worth through availability. The right people will feel your presence and treat it with care. Everyone else will misunderstand, and that's fine. Let them. So keep your energy exclusive. Keep choosing peace over attention. Keep standing firm in your truth, even when it makes others uncomfortable. Because a Sigma female doesn't follow the crowd. She builds her own rhythm and walks in it without asking permission. Thank you for watching the Rare Gems, and God bless you.